Happy, 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 happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Thank you so much for joining my live and happy Father's Day and Queen of Clubs Day in this beautiful June. Look at that beautiful sky behind me. All right. So, and I've never been called a hero before. And here is the story behind it. My mom and I, um, we woke, at least I woke up late this morning, and we were deciding what to do because my sister goes to the market on Sundays. So I was deciding if I wanted to go to the market with her. But something inside just felt like, I don't want to go to the market. I want to stay home and just chill. I had a little bit of a tough night last night, so I just wanted to relax and chill on a beautiful Sunday. And so with that, I got ready to take Ash out because I was a little late with that. My mom took out Sunday earlier and she decided she wanted to come also. So I thought that was a good idea. And we went out. And usually I don't go out far on my first, like when taking them out for the morning. But something, again, felt like going for a longer walk. So that is what we did. We decided to go for a longer walk. We were just taking our time. We went through the park. And then my mom said, she's like, there's a gentleman that I'm seeing walking, and he's still in his slippers, which is very unusual. And his like clothes are a little out, like not buttoned up properly and stuff like that. He was wearing jogging pants and undershirt and a button up sweater. And he was just walking along, walking along. And my mom used to work with people with special needs and that kind of stuff. So she kind of knew the signs, right? So she's like, I'm going to go ask him if he's okay. So she handed me, because she was walking Sunday, I was walking Ash. So she gave me Sunday's leash, and I was waiting there for her to go check up on him. She ended up calling me over and went to talk to him, and he said that he was fine. But he did not know what's the name of the area of where he lives and or his address. So this is for cellular energy, by the way. So my mom thought that was kind of peculiar, even though we went home. We believed him that he was okay. And so she really needed to go to the bathroom. And she's like, when we get home, we're going to go bring the dogs home, and then take the car and go get him. I said, okay, sure. If you feel that's that needs to be done, we'll go do it. And so we're driving down Huron, thinking there's no way Huron towards Veterans, Clark. We're thinking there's no way he would have walked straight. We were checking to see if he turned down Second. I think that's what it's called by that time. Anyways, on the way towards Clark Road. And I just felt, no, go straight, right? And where my mom's like, I think I see somebody walking on the side of the road. And lo and behold, he was walking, and he was just at this church that is on the left after Sanford and all that stuff. So I pulled over, and he kind of recognized us, but he was like all excited to see us. And my mom, she greeted him again and asked him, would you like us to give you a ride home? Because it was starting to get hot. Like, it's 30 degrees today. And that was around 10 o'clock ish, 10 a.m. So he's like, yeah, sure. I will, I'd love for you to drive me home. And we're like, okay, so which way is home? And he's like, go left. So he turned left onto Huron towards where he was going, towards Clark. And we got to Clark, and he's like, okay, turn left here. And we're like, okay. So I turned left on Clark. Good morning. Good morning. And we're like, my mom's like, this is like, I'm going to call the police, see what we could do. So she calls the police, and I'm still chatting with him to get, just to talk with him, get any information, see if 5:55, see if there's any information we can get from him. And um, he knew his last name, thankfully, but which is amazing though, is that his name is Brian, and my dad's name is Brian, and it's Father's Day. So I thought that was kind of cool. Appetite suppressant. So, um, I'm still getting directions from him, and we end up turning onto we pass this sports complex on Veterans, and I felt like I should turn in there, but I just kept going straight. And he said to turn onto, um, I think it's Clark. Yeah. So we turned onto Clark, and my mom was on the phone with 911, and they said, yeah, pull over so we can get a stationary location of where you are. And they called an old age home in our area, and they did not recognize his name. So we're like, okay. And I'm like asking him, like, who do you live with? And he said he lives with his family. And I said, do you know, like, are they your kids? And he said, no, but I think they're like people who share the same last name as me. And I'm just like, okay. He was so sweet and so kind. And I was like, okay, just trying to get as much information out of him and distracting him from the fact that we were calling, getting the police to help us, because he really felt like he was being a burden and he was taking our time out, and, that we shouldn't have fussed over him. So he was in the back seat, and we were just, and then they asked us to pull over to be stationary, but I was not comfortable with, hello, Mark, with where we were driving. Like, it was a dirt road on the side, and I was not comfortable parking there. So I said, when we get to a safe spot, I'll park there. So we ended up getting to Huron, and I turned right onto Huron, and I turned into the building there, the business there, into their parking lot, because that's a lot safer. And so we were just sitting there. She was still on the phone with 911, and we were still talking with him. And he's like, "Oh, where are we? This doesn't look familiar." Like, he's just so cute. And then we said, we're just trying to figure it out, and blah blah blah. Blah. And then, by the way, if you are interested, if you love social media and being on social media, why not make money from it? You can make $100 a day, 100% commission, right into your bank account. Let me know, and I will give you the information. So we're waiting there, and I look in my rearview mirror, and lo and behold, there's a police officer. So I'm like, perfect. We don't have to try to keep him distracted and worry if he's going to get out and, run and stuff like that, because he still feels like he's an inconvenience, and that he's being a problem. So I get out of the car, I greet the officer, who is extremely cute, by the way. And Brian comes out of the car telling the officer, that first I said Happy Father's Day to the officer, and he said thank you, but I'm not a father. And I said, well, we picked up a father. And he said, yes, you have. So he started asking Brian questions, and the same ones we were asking. In the car, Brian couldn't remember his wife's name, and he was so embarrassed. He's like, "Don't tell her can't remember her name." And he couldn't remember his kids' names. He just remembered his last name, thank goodness. Um, and but he couldn't remember where he was from, how long he's been here. He just said that he's English. He came from England and he speaks the proper English. He liked to say he was so cute. Anyways, so we're talking with the officer. The officer's trying to, get his memory going to see where he lives, right? Because he's saying that the last known address that he has for him is quite a distance from where we were and where we found him. So he's like, no, that address doesn't sound familiar. And he's like, okay. So the officer keeps calling it to try to get a hold of somebody. And then a second officer showed up. And I was like, oh, cool. There's another officer, right? And I go and greet him. And the first officer tells him where where he lives and stuff like that. Oh, and then I think we finally got a hold of, yeah, I think we got a hold of her before. Anyways, second officer showed up. I greeted him, said happy, Father's Day. And he was a father. And so he started explaining to us, he's like, if you ever hear people complaining about the long wait time in our city for us to respond, he said it's because of this. He's like, we are constantly getting calls for seniors who go missing like this. And he's like, and usually they're calling like hours and hours after. Like they didn't even know he left. And he's been out for like at least an hour, at least. He couldn't remember if he had breakfast and stuff like that. The officer said if it wasn't for us, he probably would have died because he just kept going and going. They probably wouldn't have called in for another couple of hours because, like we said, they didn't even notice he was gone, right? And so he was like really, really thankful, and he was explaining all these things, and we were having a fun time joking around, and Brian was really easygoing. He was willing to get into the car with the officers officer, the first one. And so Brian said to the officers, he's like, these ladies are so nice. And he's like, I put them in so much trouble and stuff like that. And I said, well, you made up for it by bringing two really cute officers. And the officer's like, he's like, oh, it sounds like you're looking after the ladies and all this stuff. So it was so funny. We had such a grand time. And the first officer left with Brian to bring him home. And the second one stayed for a bit to talk to us. And he's just like, you know what? You're a hero to me. You and your mom are heroes to me, because he said so many people just ignore this. He said, this is every day for us. Every day we're finding seniors who have strayed away. He said they had one that just decided to get into their car and drive 45 minutes from their house. And he said, and the people didn't even know they were missing for 8 hours. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, so it's just like they deal with this every day. So he said it made his day. It totally made his day that we felt, my mom saw the signs, trusted her intuition, and we just, went for it to make sure he's okay. It's better safe than sorry, right? So, the officer was extremely grateful. And it was a pleasant experience all in all. So we saved a father on Father's Day. And, the awesome thing is that he has the same name as my dad. So I thought that was really cool and interesting. One of my friends said it was cosmic, and I agree. But so I encourage you to, I know we all like to mind our own businesses and stuff like that and let people live their lives. I'm like that too, but you know, clearly, and this day and age, it's hard to tell also when people what they're wearing is what they meant to wear or not, right? And if you love to post on social media and love being on social media and wouldn't mind making $100 a day, 100% commissions to you, could be possible. Just let me know. I will hook you up. Okay. So, yeah, we don't know this day and age what people are going to wear all the time and stuff like that. So, but he was in the kind of bracket, not to stereotype or put in a box, but he was wearing slippers. He was not wearing shoes. It's totally obviously okay to walk around in slippers, but um, and that's just a sign of you know somebody who wasn't planning to take a stroll, if you know what I mean. He was clearly uh, not prepared for it. Just snuck out of the house, if you will. And my mom said like one of the places she used to live, they would actually lock down the houses, and you had to make sure that you lock the house behind you. And it's for stuff like this, like they could get up in the middle of the night and just take off, and you wouldn't know until the next morning when when you go to feed them or whatever, give them their medication, that they're gone. And could be too late by then, you know what I mean? Or you're waking up to the police showing up because they found the individual, right? So that was an interesting experience for sure. It really warmed my mom's heart that she listened to her intuition and took the leap, and we helped him, and he was such an amazing guy. He was so sweet, and he wanted our address. So I gave it to them. I'm like, whatever. I don't know if he's ever he's gonna remember it. That'd be funny if he remembered our address over his own address. That'd be so funny. But yeah, he was really sweet. And if you want to make money without doing anything, let me know. I will give you the info. But thank you so much for watching, and be kind. Happy Father's Day. Happy Queen of Clubs. Bye. Dee, 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 dee.